What's going on, everybody? I'm Dario,
I'm Sarah.
and we are 77 Flavors of Chicago. Happy to be here with you today, joining Blacks in Green on a fantastic journey.
So we're here today for the virtual tour portion of the Black Energy Justice Retreat. We're about to take you all over some of the homes in the coalition of Black House museums around the city, and we cannot wait for you to experience this.
And right now, we're going to hand it over to our fearless leader, Naomi Davis.
I'm Naomi Davis, and I'm the founder and CEO of BIG, otherwise known as Blacks in Green. Blacks in Green, we're the authors of the 8 Principles of Green Village Building and Grannynomics and the Sustainable Square Mile. And that means we're all about that walk to work, walk to shop, walk to learn, walk to play village, where African Americans own the business, they own the land, and they live the conservation lifestyle. 5 women came together and co-founded the Coalition of Black House Museums at a time when we were clear that the city was missing a core piece of its own narrative, its own history. The soul, you could even say, of Chicago revolves around the people who made this city during critical times like the Great Migration, and that was the A. Philip Randolph Pullman Porter Museum, Muddy Waters and the Mojo Museum, Phyllis Wheatley House, and the idea that we have an enormous part of Chicago history, American history, where the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was defining citizenship, defining blackness, defining service, and of course, not the least of which was our own little 2-flat at 6427 South St. Lawrence, the Emmett and Mamie Till Mobley House Museum. The sisterhood of the Coalition of Black House Museums it's a place of nurturement. So in one regard, it's really just a joy, and it's a place where you can get fed by the love, the respect, the reverence for history that we share. And Blacks in Green, among other things, as this walkable village and this place where you can walk to work, walk to shop, walk to learn, and walk to play, is really all about the economies that we're creating. We have here at the Green Living Room the Green New Deal Emporium, where we have a Michelle Museum. What Michelle could I be talking about? And where we sell products made in West Woodlawn. And so as part of anchoring ourselves in place, as part of belonging to a community and being accountable to that community, and as part of celebrating that, and of course, as all community members should be understanding and appreciating, monetizing it. African Americans have a very rich story, and I mean that literally and figuratively. We've been sliced and diced, and we have been monetized, but how much of the work of telling the story, making the products, and creating a profit from them, how much of that is done by the people themselves? So we're determined that we are going to build a tourism industry here in West Woodlawn. I grew up in a very Afrocentric home, so the stories of our journey, the trials and tribulations and the triumphs, these were the everyday fodder for, of our youth. Early on in my childhood, I came to understand myself as a child of the Great Migration. I found that my mom, who was born and raised in Menor City, Mississippi, was born 13 miles as the crow flies from Money, Mississippi, that place of tragedy where Emmett Till was kidnapped, tortured, and murdered. As I began to understand as a young girl what happened that day in 1955 when Emmett was slain, I came to realize that well, gee, I was born the day before he was murdered. And when I moved to West Woodlawn back in 2010, I had lost all of my real estate and I was trying to rediscover a place called home, and found myself in this neighborhood wandering, looking, researching, feeling, and stumbled across the Till home quite by accident. And it was indistinguishable from any of the other, sort of ordinary, average, everyday looking two flats. But once I discovered that that was the place where Emmett had been raised, it became a deep love and a passionate spot for me. And it was just a gift from God that a decade later, we were able to buy that property and become the stewards of what I think is really one of America's great treasures. So here we are at the Black Energy Justice Retreat, and the new terms of engagement that we're aiming for in the ways that we want to create energy justice out of the troubles that we're talking about this weekend. All of that's going to be fortified and really sweetened by the time that we spend together. And here in Chicago, we have such a history. We are Bronzeville, USA, the epicenter of authentic African-American history in America. And we'd be crazy to have folks coming and visiting us from all around the country and not share some of the pride and joy that we feel with our Black Chicago. All right, so off you go. I know you're going to enjoy this tour. Have fun.
This is the A. Philip Randolph Pullman Porter Museum, founded in 1995 by Dr. Lynn Hughes. Located in the historic Pullman District, this museum honors the membership of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters Union. This was the first African American labor union in the country to win a collective bargaining agreement. Led by Randolph, they victoriously fought for America's early labor movement and opened a doorway for many civil rights gains in labor.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Joanne Tate. I'm a holistic and energy practitioner and a vegan chef, and the owner of the Phyllis Wheatley Home. Well, Phyllis Wheatley was the first Black published poet, and the home was named after her because of her excellence. Well, the Phyllis Wheatley Home was a home where Black women migrated from the South. And when they migrated, they were refined socially, economically, spiritually, and intellectually. And today, we want to make it a transformational oasis to kind of move away from the negativity of the migration, the negativity of the racism, to excellence, to Black excellence. So they know regardless of what happened, we can still define what excellent is. Our plans actually is to be able to create a Black woman museum, Chicago Black Woman Museum, because in Chicago, there are so many prominent Black women who have made a historical impact on Chicago. So the museum will help define how important it is as a Black woman to be the best you can be. And so we want everyone to understand that this is not just a house. This was a house that was a history maker. This was a house where Black women were brought here and they walked in one way and they left out with excellence. We want people to understand the importance of history, how important it is. Because if we don't understand our history and don't understand our struggle, then we don't have the motivation to move forward. So I want everyone who hears this to understand Black history is imperative because it's the platform that allows our young people to understand their importance on moving forward and making tomorrow a better place. We come from all trails, all avenues. It doesn't matter where you come from. Use that in order to carry you forward.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the eternal leader of the Nation of Islam. And many of you know him because of his star student, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He built the Nation of Islam from the 1930s until his departure in the mid-1970s. And we are here at his historic home at 4847 South Woodlawn Avenue, whom you hear oftentimes, or that address that you often hear in many of the lectures and table talks. It's so important to restore this home because so much history happened here. This is the single most important piece of property in modern day African American history. Why? Because more leaders and icons and public figures from our community have met and dined in this home. And I can name the list, from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad himself to Martin Luther King Jr., his wife Coretta Scott King, Malcolm X, Betty Shabazz, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, his wife, Mother Khadija Farrakhan. Then you got James Baldwin, you got Adam Clayton Powell, you got Thurgood Marshall, you got Sam Cooke, you got Muhammad Ali, you got Wilma Rudolph, and that's the short list. So it's important for us to preserve this history because it is time for us to own and monetize our history. Urban historic preservation is very important because it's time not only for us to know our history, own our history, and monetize our history, but it's also time for us to learn our history. We are really on the verge of a big chunk of our history becoming extinct. From the period of time from the 1920s to the mid-70s, during that Great Migration, so much of the areas where those incredible migrants lived and were redlined and forced to live in are now regentrified. The houses are gone, the history is gone, we're scattered, we're integrated, and so now we don't know many of the famous people and all the sacrifices that they made for us to be where we are today. So it's important for us to preserve this history. What's happening now around the world is that our history is owned and told by someone else, and we have to change that. Thank you to Naomi Davis and Blacks and Greens and our whole coalition of Black House Museums for this tour. You're gonna love this tour. Why? Because it's your opportunity to grace sacred grounds where our ancestors worked, died, studied, and really gave their lives for us to move forward in our community and in the world. So you're gonna love it because it's gonna change you. It's gonna change who you are when you connect with those people who gave their lives for you.
This is the Muddy Waters Mojo Museum. Muddy Waters was an American blues singer, songwriter, and musician. He's known as the father of modern Chicago blues. He moved to Chicago in 1943 to become a full-time musician. In the 1960s, he performed all over Chicago, bringing a new generation of Chicago blues. In 1960, his performance for Got My Mojo Workin' was finally nominated for a Grammy Award.
Welcome to Boxville. My name is Bernard Lloyd, and I am the founder of Build Bronzeville and one of the founders of Boxville. Boxville is a shipping container market that provides uniquely accessible spaces for community entrepreneurs and exciting retail opportunities for neighborhood residents and visitors. Boxville is driving the transformation of 51st Street and the Green Line. Before there was Boxville, this was a vacant, blighted lot that folks try to move by as quickly as possible. Today, Boxville is a destination. People linger. People stop at Synergy to grab their famous pineapple fruit bowl. They stop by Codger's Plates to grab their wonderful vegan cuisine. AO Tacos, the best tacos certified on the South Side, and most recently, Elevated Subs. What's really fun and exciting at Boxville is, first, you know what you're getting comes with a lot of love. It's been produced by folks from this community. They've put their heart and soul into their product, and they're here serving not just their product, but they know they're serving their community. I think secondly, you never know what you'll get on a market day. Boxville Summer Market, every other Wednesday during the summer, we bring in a diverse range of vendors from all over Black Chicago. And they're bringing really unique products to the table. They're bringing their energy, they're bringing their excitement. You never know who you'll meet at Boxville. Almost anybody could stop by. Just yesterday, we had 30 youth from California, from a church in California who stopped by and spent the afternoon at Boxville. But almost anybody could be at Boxville because it's become a place where unique and creative individuals come together to create community and share ideas.
Honestly, I love Boxville. Yeah. Some of the best food has come out of there. It's such a nice
colorful place.
Mm-hmm.
Love,
yep.
love
sure.
Boxville.
I know.
Right now, we got a couple more left for you on this tour, and
yep.
I know you're gonna love them. And got some more fun facts for
you.
So
yeah, we got a combo of homes, and you're gonna tell us a little bit.
Oh yeah, y'all stay tuned. Let's keep it rolling.
Hi, my name is Anna Maria Leone, and I'm a permaculture designer, and I'm also a perennial plants woman. So we have a nursery here where we grow perennials, and our company is called Home and Grown. So at Home and Grown Nursery, which is located at 16th and Springfield, we grow the perennials here. And then we have a cut flower farm, which is located at what we call Love Blooms Here Plaza, and that's at Central Park and Douglas. And you'll get to see, we're also training and developing our residents in bouquets. We also have a place right there where we have a garden center, a museum, a coffee shop that's opening up, and a space where our community can gather. So you'll be able to see that as well. The Home and Grown / Love Blooms Here is a social enterprise, and we're using our perennial plant nursery to not only show people in the community how to raise perennials, but also how to design and then maintain perennial gardens. Another aspect of what we do is we are part of a collective with food producers in North Lawndale. It's a larger collective. Part of that is Stone Temple, Wyman, our Urban Growers Collective, and other community organizations like Chicago Botanic Garden with their Windy City Harvest program. My husband is Roy Diblick, and he actually just won the Medal of Honor from the Garden Club of America, and it's a great honor because of his contribution to horticulture. And so he is my partner because we're married, but he's also a partner because he just loves our community in North Lawndale. My business partner is Pastor Rashona Fitzpatrick, and she's also the executive pastor at Stone Temple Baptist Church on Douglas and Millard. So we both have a passion for the community, for beauty, for plants, and for food. And within the both of our relationship and with my relationship with my husband, we're really creating something very special here in North Lawndale. So this is now our 4th year in operation here on 16th Street and Springfield. And you can see across the street is where Dr. King lived when he came to protest the redlining that was happening here in North Lawndale. And this project was created with the City of Chicago using Neighborhood Opportunity Funds, so thank you, City of Chicago. Really, it's to be able to show that beauty is for everybody, and that our neighborhood is so special because of the historical nature of it, the activism that's here, and that's how come we partner with Blacks in Green, because of everything that they're doing in Woodlawn and the incredible things that they're creating. We want to be a part of that. Water access, energy access. It's the same in their neighborhood as well as ours. So we have the same agenda, we have the same future, we have the same commitments, and it's really a pleasure to be able to host all of you here coming to Home and Grown.
My name is Brenda Palms Barber, and I am the President and CEO of the North Lawndale Employment Network and the founder of our social enterprise, Sweet Beginnings, LLC. And recently, we just established a new social enterprise, our Be Love Cafe. The North Lawndale Employment Network was established to create real pathways to economic development for a community that has been struggling chronically because of all the ills of poverty and having high unemployment rates and honestly all the other social ills that come with a disinvested community. So high unemployment is one. Certainly the high rate of mass incarceration is something that has deeply impacted our community, and a whole host of other challenges. So specifically, our focus is to improve the earnings potential of the residents of North Lawndale through innovative employment initiatives that lead to economic advancement and ultimately an improved quality of life. So we work hard to make sure that our men and women are equipped with the tools that will help make them competitive in a really challenging workforce development environment. We also are excited to have a Be Love Cafe that provides a space for folks to come together and to enjoy an incredible coffee experience or tea, and of course, I guess sweetened with our Be Love honey. And we are proud to elevate and give attention to local entrepreneurs who are have dreams of launching their own food businesses, and so we're able to carry some delicious local food made predominantly by Black and brown entrepreneurs, and all of that's featured in our cafe. In addition to just having like social evenings together, music nights, and we're looking to have, we have art exhibitions and just a great place for community to come and exchange, network with one another. One of the people I honestly, I'm honestly always inspired by is Naomi with Blacks in Green. We've met years and years ago, and both of us had these audacious sort of visions around our role in the environment. Now, Naomi by far is far more, much better at this. I'm more of an accidental environmentalist, and I come that way through beekeeping and really suddenly understanding and caring very much about the role that honeybees play in our ecosystem and in our food system. They're fundamental. And the fact that we use honey as a means to create employment for men and women who have been incarcerated and helping to, quote, take the sting out of reentry for their experience, it's really important. But Naomi, she's, has been at the forefront of this work forever. And I think it's exciting and important that we as African Americans, as Black Americans, step inside and accept our role around managing the environment. We've always had a relationship with nature and with every aspect of nature. And so for us to understand the importance of energy conservation, kind of feeling nerdy about the role of honeybees and its role in pollinating and being responsible for 1/3 of our food supply. It's those kinds of connections that we have to have that Naomi and Blacks in Green are all about. So I'm excited to be on board and supporting the vision and the important work, the quality of life that Naomi's leading. I'm so glad you all stopped by so that we could share a little bit of the sweet beginnings that are happening on the west side of Chicago. All my best to you all. Take care, Nay. See y'all later. See you soon.
Thank you for that, Brenda. Right now, I'm going to talk to you about the museum campus here in Chicago, home to some of the world's best museums and the country's first museums. We'll talk about that in a few. first stop on our tour, we're going to talk about Adler Planetarium. Adler Planetarium was started in 1930 by Max Adler. It's actually the first planetarium in the entire United States. It was declared a National Historic Landmark in 1987. Adler's mission was to inspire exploration and understanding of the universe. And if we take a quick trip down the little lane here, we're going to stop by the Shedd Aquarium, formerly the John G. Shedd Aquarium. It is an indoor public aquarium, opened May 30th, 1930. It holds a whopping 5 million gallons of water, and for some time, it was the largest indoor facility in the world. Moving right along, we have the Field Museum of Natural History. It's one of the largest museums of its type in the world. Originally, it was called the Columbia Museum of Chicago. You wouldn't believe it, but Marshall Field himself actually helped fund this building. It was originally made for the World's Columbian Exposition that took place in 1893. In 1905, the name was changed and the original location was located in Jackson Park. As we move on from the museum campus, we could take a nice drive down Lakeshore Drive, or better known now as of June 25th, 2021, John Baptiste Point du Sable Lakeshore Drive, which was changed to honor Chicago's first non-indigenous settler. Another famous street here in Chicago is known as the Mag Mile, Magnificent Mile, or Michigan Avenue, whatever you call it. It's a really dope street. It was given its nickname in the 1940s because of its vast square footage of occupied retail, restaurants, and museums. 3 million square feet. To date, the Magnificent Mile is the third most expensive in the United States, behind Fifth Avenue in New York and Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. It's also home to some of the most historic buildings in Chicago, one of which lasted through a fire. The Chicago Water Tower is one of Chicago's most historic buildings. It was built to enclose the tall machinery of a powerful water pump in 1869. Right now, the Chicago Water Tower serves as Chicago's Office of Tourism for Small Art Gallery. Right across the street is the Chicago Avenue Pumping Station. Both together, they're known as the Chicago Water Works. Both of these buildings help pump the water and regulate all the piping and everything throughout the whole area of Chicago, mainly used for firefighting. Oh man, well, hey, that concludes our virtual tour. I hope that you had a lot of fun as much as we did.
Yeah, I hope you learned so much. I hope that you can one day visit these spots in person. There's so much to see and so much to learn. We tried to fit as much as we can for you today, but you really need to be checking these places out in person.
Yeah, you really do. Thank you again to Blacks in Green, Naomi, and every speaker that you saw today. Thanks for opening up your homes to us and your computer screens. Thank you all for joining. We are 77 Flavors of Chicago.
And y'all be blessed.
Y'all be blessed.